Hey students, welcome back. In this lesson, you're going to have an opportunity to test your natural talent, your natural aptitude for chess. I have chosen 3 specific exercises that I'm going to give you the instructions. I'm going to tell you how much time you need to solve them in order to pass the test. And it is good that you have fun with them, try to solve it in that amount of time, but ultimately these exercises are meant to help you practice and improve on specific skills that you need in order to be a better chess player. So have fun with them, but even if you cannot get them in the amount of time that I tell you, try to still keep working on them until you find the answer. These exercises were used in many of the talent schools in the former Soviet Union. And even though they have been adopted in many schools around the world and they have been changed, I think there's a lot that they still have to offer. It is well known that the Soviet School of Chess offered a lot of great chess players, and one way or another they had to go through these exercises in order to be accepted into such school. So I'm going to do the following. I'm going to show you the 3 different exercises. I'm going to tell you what you have to do for each one of them. Then once you work on them, you're going to see on the second part of the video the answer to each one of the exercises. Here you have to do this exercise in less than 3 minutes. That's considered okay. If you do it in less than a minute, that's considered excellent. So this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to bring the knight from b1 to c1, but this is the trick. This queen is never going to move, so it's just you moving the knight with the white pieces, and you cannot put the knight on any square that is attacked by the queen. And of course, you cannot capture the queen either. So your job is to bring the knight from here to here. You have to find a maneuver to do that. And of course, you cannot move the pieces. So do it in your head. You have to find a way to get the knight there. Hint, it's going to take you at least 9 knight moves. If you're able to do this in less than 3 minutes, great. If you do it in less than a minute, excellent. Now, for those of you who think this is too easy and you want to take it to the next level, you actually could do the following. Once you find a way to get to c1, then you should continue to the next square that is not attacked by the queen, like e1. Then you need to find a way to get from e1 to f1. Then from f1 to get to h1. Then you have to find a way to go all the way to the next rank, a2. And from a2 get to c2, from c2 get to e2, from e2 get to g2, and then to h2, go all the way to a3, and do all of these available squares all the way up to g8. So again, guys, before you start, your job is to get from here to here, and again, the black pieces are not going to move. It's just you using your knight without moving the pieces. So the next exercise is going to be the following. It's going to be a little bit tricky, and this is the only one where you have to do a little bit of extra work because it's going to consist in the following. I'm going to show you a specific position. You're going to look at it for 10 seconds, and then the idea is that I'm going to make it disappear, and you're supposed to reconstruct it on a chessboard. So if you have a chessboard at home, great, just have it next to you, and when you look at the position and I take it away, try to recreate it on that board. If you don't have a board at home, you can go to any website like lichess.org, and they have an analysis board that you can use to recreate the position. But that's what it's going to be. Even if you don't want to do it now, just know you can come back to this video and try to do it at home. So get ready, the screen is going to get black now, and when it comes back on, you're going to have that position. After 10 seconds, it's going to be removed, and then you can actually do the exercise. Here you have it, guys. So that you know, at a specific point, this same exercise was used in an experiment where they showed it to 4 different players. They showed it to the world champion, Dr. Max Euwe, I think that's how you pronounce the last name. They showed it to a chess master, Adrian de Groot. They showed it to a local chess champion in Deutschland, and they showed it to a club player. And these were the results. The world champion, he actually got a perfect score, not one mistake. The chess master, he actually added an extra pawn. He put everything perfect, but he put an extra pawn as well. The local champion, he actually forgot 1 bishop and he misplaced one of the rooks. And the club player, he actually only got 6 pieces correct. Now, in order for you to pass this specific exercise, you had to have less than 6 mistakes. So please, I like to keep the stats of my students, so I would appreciate if you actually leave me a comment and you tell me what you got at the end. The final exercise is very similar to the one you had before, but this time you have to actually bring the knight from A1 to B1. Then you're going to actually go from B1 to C1, and just like that all the way until you get to H1. And again, you cannot put the knight on any of the squares attacked by any of the pawns. And of course you cannot capture the pawn. So just like in the one before, the black pieces are not going to move. It's just you using your knight going around these pawns. You cannot move to any of these squares that are attacked, and of course you cannot get the pawns. Now I'm going to show you the first one. So for this one, you're supposed to go to B1, right? So you could go knight C2, knight A3, knight B1. So 1, 2, 3. So that's a 1. Then you have to find a way to get from here to here. Then how do you get from here to here? And so on. So remember guys, you're not supposed to move the pieces, do it in your head. And for those of you who want to take it to the next level, once you get it all the way to H1, you could then get to the next rank. So you find a way to get all the way to A2, then to C2, then to F2, then to H2. You go to the next rank and try to access each one of the squares on the board that are not attacked by the pawns. And of course, the ones that the pawns are not on. For this one, if you're going to do it up to H1, you're supposed to do it in less than 3 minutes. If you're going to take it all the way through the different squares available over the board, you're supposed to do it in less than 6 minutes. So have fun guys. Here you have the last exercise. And once you post the video and you find it, the next thing is going to be for me to show the answers with you. So make sure that before you get to the next part of the video that you actually had the time to work on these exercises. So like I said before, for this one there's not really an answer, but what I wanted to say is that many of the players who have actually gotten it perfect, they say the same thing, that they look at the chess pieces when they look at these positions, they look them as groups. The world champion, he actually said that he looked at the king and the pieces defending it as a group, so it was easier for him to remember it that way. And then for the other pieces, he's trying to remember what each one of them is doing. Like this pawn is protecting a pawn, that was a rook protecting a pawn and a bishop, so that's going to help you remember it better. Now for this one, this is the way that you do it. You're gonna go knight, and remember, I'm not going to move the pieces now, I'm gonna move it after, but let's try to do it without moving the knight. So you're going to go knight A3, knight C2, knight E1, knight F3, knight H2, knight F1, then knight G3, knight E2, and then knight C1. So again, knight A3, knight C2, knight E1, knight F3, knight H2, knight F1. From F1 you go to G3, E2, and C1. So here we go. And never did I get attacked by the queen. So there you have it guys. If you found a different route, then feel free to share with me in the comments. Okay, the answer to this one, since it is so long, I'm not going to do it in our head first. So I'm just going to get to it. So if you want to get from A1 to B1, I already told you, you go knight C2, knight A3, knight B1. Now to get to C1, and this is just me trying to do it quickly here, I think we're going to go knight A3, knight C2, knight D4, knight B3, knight C1. Now to get to D1, I think I'm just going to go easily in 3 moves. Then to get to E1, I'm going to go here, here, here. To get to F1, C2, E3, F1. To get to G1, I want to say I have to get here. So, yeah, I found it. So I got to G1. Then to get to H1 is actually pretty easy. Now, this is done, guys. From here, you could go to A2, then C2, F2, H2, and so on. So I hope you found this useful, even if you didn't find it in the amount of time that you were supposed to. Even if you never find it, the fact that you're calculating, you're visualizing, trust me, this is going to help you a lot. So guys, let me know what you think. I know I'm going to at some point do something like this again, maybe a little bit tougher, but I would like to know your feedback. I know many people don't like it, many people find it boring or too difficult. But trust me, I've been there, I know what it feels like, but I also know that it works. So again, I appreciate your feedback. Let me know how long it took you, how many moves, and I'll see you in the next lesson.